What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and today I'm going to get into why I deleted all social media. And yeah, this was not a recent thing. This is something I did around 5 years ago, so this is not a new thing for me, but I'm going to explain why I did that and why I came to that decision. And the first thing is just the banality of it. It's just something you end up spending a lot of time on for kind of no reason. You know, you're always, I got to check my status. I got to check to see what people posted. Oh my gosh, 3 people liked my Facebook post. I got to, oh wow, I'm going to get a big dopamine hit from that. Oh, someone commented, whatever, you know, and we're just looking through people's Instagram pictures, whatever. I never really did Twitter or X, but just looking through people's tweets, or it's all very banal and empty and just kind of like, what's even the point of that, you know? And I remember hanging out with some friends, and you know, we had kind of a night out drinking, and the next day we're hanging out hungover, and one of my friends, he was just laid in bed and scrolled through Instagram on his phone for like literally 5-6 hours straight, and just like, man, like, why don't we just, like, you know, watch a couple movies or something, you know? That, at least if we're gonna just kind of melt our brains, you know, that'd be a better way to do it. But, you know, there's just no, if you watch a movie, there's some themes and there's, you know, some artistry and some stuff you're getting out of it, maybe by just looking at people's Instagrams and stuff. There's not, you know, you're not getting much out of that by looking at people's Facebook statuses and whatever. It's just empty. It's boring, and like, it takes up a lot of time. Like, I remember I looked, and you know, when I was in this process of deleting it and getting rid of it, and it said I spent like 4 or 5 hours a day on Facebook, and it must have just been through the app, just kind of like scrolling through stuff here and there, and maybe the app was tracking more time than I was using, because that seemed like a lot. But even if that was exaggerated, that is so much time in my day that I'm using on this, you know, and I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. You know, there's nothing there for me to really miss. I mean, I have a ghost account to like go on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, but other than that, I don't miss seeing everybody's statuses. I don't miss posting. I don't miss tweeting. I don't miss liking or commenting or anything, because I didn't get anything from it. Like, when I watch YouTube, I'll get things out of the videos I watch. I'll put stuff out there and give stuff to people from the videos I make, and, you know, etc. There's like value added, and it's like to give you these little nuggets where it's like, oh, okay, like I now know something I don't know, or I have a new perspective on things, or, you know, that helped me process things emotionally, or whatever. You know, there's like something I'm trying to give out, and something I'm trying to like get, and that's just quality stuff you're not going to get from social media. You're just not going to get like good quality stuff. It's just like looking at, oh, someone took a vacation and they to Hawaii, and they posted the same picture as everybody else posts, you know. And it's not to hate on anybody's vacation, but it's just like, who cares, you know? It's not a big thing for me that some friend of a friend that happened to make it into my Facebook friends, someone who I see like once a month, who is an acquaintance at best, and now I'm seeing all the stuff they're doing, and, you know, I don't mind the people. They're not bad people, so like, I feel bad if I unfriend them or whatever, or I don't know, you know. And it's just like, why am I looking at this? Why am I paying attention to this? Why is this like occupying like so much space in my life? Like, who cares, you know? It's not a big thing. And then also, it's like, social media has people like, so like, you have to take so many pictures of your vacation and post it online, or you won't even enjoy it, or it's like you didn't even go on the vacation, you know. It's just this weird thing, or you gotta, go to the concert and you gotta record the concert the whole time and post it for people. And it's like people aren't really gaining like joy from things anymore. They're just like going to events, and rather than experiencing the event, they're posting about it as much as possible and documenting it as much as possible to show it to their friends, to show it off to their friends, what they're doing. And it creates a whole status kind of game, and people are chasing status and trying to look better than other people and look like they're doing cooler things. And just like, who cares? And it favors very visual, on the surface kind of people. That's the people who are going to be most interested in this. It favors social climbers, and those are the type of people who are going to be able to post the nice picture and make it look a certain way. And you post this nice picture with your family, and then once the camera's off, you go back to fighting and being dramatic and stuff. And people post stuff of their kids to try to make themselves seem like they're some great big parent or whatever, and I don't know, and they're going back to yelling at their kids or whatever, but then they're going to post some picture of their kid at the sports game and to like worship their kid and make an idol out of their kid. And it's just whatever, and I mean, people do the same stuff with their pets. That's not as bad, but just a lot of stuff. People try to show off their relationships, people try to show off their material possessions, whatever, and it's just, I don't really care. It's just like, I don't really want to put my time into that. I don't want to look at it or post about it or whatever. And like, I've known like actual successful people and people who, who know people that know people, I've known people like that, and they don't post to social media. They look at social media, but they do not post anything, because it's like, at that point, it's like, all right, I took this trip to Monaco or whatever. I'm not trying to show everybody that, like, I don't want people knowing where I'm moving and what I'm doing and what kind of stuff I'm getting into, That's how successful people that I've seen operate when it comes to social media. And I understand why, because it's just like, you have no privacy anymore, just putting all this stuff out there. It's just like, all right, just, there's no privacy, there's no, I don't know, it's very, I don't know, it's very prideful, it's very arrogant, it's very weird, it's looking for other people to approve of you, looking for other people to like what you're doing and be into what you're doing and whatever. And I don't know, it's just too much. It's too much of that. It's too fake. It's too on the surface. It's too vapid. It's just, it's way too fake. Hold on, all right, give me a sec. Just let me take this turn. And then like, what really finally was the last straw that got me off was all the politics and all that stuff, and so many political arguments and political discussions and this and that and whatever. And I got roped into it. I got pulled into it. So someone would make a status and whatever, I don't know, and then I'd comment on it, or I'd make a status and someone would comment on it, or it'd be in a Facebook group and someone would comment on the thing I posted, or I'd comment on their thing, or however it was. And it was too easy to get pulled into these political arguments and debates and stuff like that. And things just got too ugly with that, and things got too divisive with that, and things just got too ridiculous with that, and things just got so overboard with all the politics and stuff. And I just realized, just like going on social media and doing all this stuff, it's not productive. And there's a lot of trolls and a lot of haters and a lot of negative people too on there that are trying to drag you into stuff and trying to find someone to tar and feather and someone to attack and things like that. And it just wasn't good for me. And I've heard multiple other people say the same kind of thing. It just wasn't good for them in that regard, and it's a big reason why I'm off it. There's a lot of other reasons, but that's probably the one that caused me to pull the trigger and jump off it. And yeah, all that stuff, it just, you get so worked up in these political arguments and discussions and stuff. And, the political arguments, your coworkers and people around you will try to do it. I got to shut it down in my real life as well, but sometimes just on the phone like that, or on the website, or on the apps, it's easy to just be, you're upset about something, someone says something, whatever, and before you know it, you're writing a bunch of comments back and forth and having this argument or whatever, and it's just negative, it's draining, and yeah. And then that segues me to my next point, is like, your tweets are pretty much, or your tweets or your posts or whatever, that stuff's out there in the ether for pretty much everybody to see. Future employers, the government, whoever, there for them to see. And you can make it private, but even if you make it private, you have friends of a friend of a friend, and everyone's kind of connected, and people can take screenshots, and, whatever, it can still kind of get out there. And the thing is, it's like, people will post to Facebook and Twitter especially, and whatever alternative sites, and all this kind of stuff, even Reddit, whatever. People will post in the same way that, like, you're at the bar and you're a little bit drunk and you're around your friends and you're talking trash and you're being a little bit dumb, and people will post in that same kind of way of where we're hanging out, having cocktails, having beers, whatever, talking trash. People will post in the same kind of way that they would. And when you say a word in real life, unless someone's recording it, once you said it, it's said, and it's not like going to be captured and stuck. Someone could remember it and bring it back up or something, but there's not really a record kept of it. Whereas when you type out all these tweets and whatever, all this stuff, there's a record kept of it. And future employers, the government, whoever, can look at that stuff and can really hold you to it in a bad way and in the wrong kind of way. And I've seen a lot of people that, I look at their Facebook right quick, or their Instagram right quick, to kind of get a read on them. Then I see them typing a bunch of crazy stuff and putting all this weird, angry stuff out there. And sometimes it's not politics stuff about their personal life, their breakup, whatever, their relationship problems. People just put a lot of stuff out there that doesn't need to be out in the public. Some girl got in a fight with her boyfriend, she's got to post everything about it on Facebook or whatever. And it's just like, I don't need to see that. I had a buddy that, would always complain about his wife on Facebook, and it's just like, that's a terrible look for you, and I just don't need to see this. And look, people have all these radical ideas about politics and about what the social order of things should be, and blah blah blah, and people post all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, like, this person's pretty crazy. They just got all this stuff out there, and maybe they're not like that in real life, but they're just online and they're angry about stuff, or they feel like they can't talk about this stuff in real life. I don't know, I don't know, but I've seen some stuff that's been pretty like, man, what the heck, what's going on with this person? It's very easy. For the most part, you can just check all this stuff out and see everything people are saying and whatever, and yeah, and I think a lot of people just don't realize that, like, what they're posting gets put out there. It really does. And you could even get arrested for stuff you post. And, like, I'm not even kidding, and, we're not as protected by freedom of speech as we should be. And that's another video, but, like, freedom of speech, I don't think we really have it, really. That's a separate topic, a separate video I'll get to, but, you post some stuff about some political issue, or about this or about that or whatever, and if the wrong people see it, they could really get you in trouble, try to get you thrown in jail. I'm not even kidding. It's happened to people. It's happened to a lot of people. They post the wrong meme. I've heard about that in the UK. People are going to jail for posting memes. My friend Adam Bees, he went to jail for some tweets, Yeah, so you got to be careful with that. You got to be very careful with that. It's not a joke. And, people aren't playing fair. And people aren't playing nice. People are, oh, oh, you had a few too many drinks and you had some fight with your girlfriend and whatever, and you're just having a bad day and you posted some dumb stuff. People are not going to be like that. They're going to say, oh, you think what about the government? You think what about this politician? You want to punch that politician in the face? What? That's a serious threat. They're not going to play nice and say, obviously I didn't mean, I actually wanted to punch him in the face, whatever. They're not going to play nice. And, there's a certain side to things, and whatever, there's a certain side that is in power and a certain side that is empowered, and, certain groups of people who are empowered and certain political interests that are empowered and whatever. And if you speak against those things, then you speak against the matrix, you speak against the status quo. And especially just you're at home, you're on your computer, you're on your phone, you heard about something, you read about something, you're angry, you just say, oh my God, this politician or this corporation or this thing, I want to, punch this person in the face or whatever. And the thing is, and if you're on the side of things, which is generally the left-wing side of things, you'll be protected and you won't get in trouble and bad stuff won't happen. But if you say something from the right-wing side of things, you could very easily get in trouble, go to jail. People go to jail for memes and tweets and stuff. And you can get in a lot of trouble. So this is something for my fellow right-wing people to kind of, for us to kind of be aware and to be clever and to realize that the status quo is not on our side. And the things we say are definitely going to be used against us. And that, whatever, freedom of speech definitely is not as good for us. I'm just trying to think of how to say this, because I see a lot of left-wing people post about how they want to, whatever, kick Donald Trump in the nuts or whatever, and they're totally fine. And then a right-wing person will post about how they want to, I don't know, whatever, do something to Joe Biden or do something to Kamala or whatever, and, all of a sudden it's, whatever, it's a federal investigation. Legit. And that's the only way I know how to say that, and I know that's not, whatever, that's a separate video, it's not totally, it's related to this, but, yeah, that's just something to note. And, social media is just not as safe if you're on the right wing. It's just not as safe a place. Yeah, so I would definitely advise everybody to get off social media, unless you make money off it or there's things you use for it. Like, I'd consider making an Instagram to help promote my channel or something, that could be a good idea. But other than that, if you're just a regular person, I would definitely consider deleting it. And, you start to think clearer too, because you're not as I don't know, you're not as just you're not constantly hearing about everything that's going on, and you're not constantly just hearing about all this stuff and, driven to be upset, because that's what the media does, especially social media, is they're constantly trying to use fear and anger and shame and stuff to get you to respond and react. They did what happened, whatever, I gotta really tweet about this, and you kind of gotta think twice before doing that, and before having that response towards it. Yeah. And then my last kind of point is, most of the people I was Facebook friends with were not my real friends. I had maybe around 400 or so Facebook friends, I believe, and maybe 20 or 30 of them were actually my friends. The rest of them were just acquaintances of, oh, I know this guy, he's a friend of a friend, I'll add him. And that was just the culture and the status quo there. It's where you just kind of add people that you kind of, whatever, know is a friend of a friend. And if someone sends you that friend request, you feel bad saying no, because they'll see it, and then they might see you, and they might be like, what the hell's wrong? Why does he want to be my friend? What the hell, And there's a lot of stuff like that, and a lot of status games, and a lot of, I'm going to be friends with these people, but not those people, and it's very public, and there's a lot of just not good stuff with that, and it just puts you in a weird situation. And I know for me, I wanted to accept people's friend requests, whatever. I didn't want to be like that. And, if you send a friend request to someone they don't accept, it's kind of like, what the hell's wrong with them? What do they have up their ass, you know? And I don't know. They just like designed it also to be addictive. They designed it to be very addictive, and to be very like to draw you in. I think this was at Facebook. I'm not sure where exactly, but I think they hired a psychologist specifically to like make it as addictive as possible, and he used a lot of the psychology that like casinos use and stuff. So the timing of the notifications and all that stuff is designed to like reel you in as much as possible and get you as addicted and as sucked in as possible, you know. So it's something to be very careful of. And then also just like there's just random fools hitting me up that I don't care to talk to. Some weird friend from high school, some girl who had a boyfriend but was kind of flirting with me, and then breaks up with the boyfriend but then marries him and has a kid, and now she's really flirting with me hard, and all my comments and just like stuff like that. Or just some weird homie who's hitting you up about this and that, and oh bro, I'm in this thing, can I borrow $50, blah blah blah, you know. It's like, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear about it. They want the people hitting you up to join their MLM or their pyramid scheme or whatever, you know. Just the most annoying stuff. It's just people hitting you up just about BS, you know, stupid BS, and just stuff I don't want to deal with, and people I don't want to deal with, and situations I don't want to deal with, and just like, who cares, you know? Who cares? And you know, I think the world needs to get back to a place of where we, instead of social media, we have actual social lives, and we actually hang out. And, you know, that's probably a separate video too, but, you know, I think that's where we got to get to, is getting off all this social media and starting to actually socialize with each other and, you know, reconnect in a healthy way. So, yeah. This is Truth Tiger. Thank you all for watching. Much love, much appreciation. You all are awesome. I'm out.